Welcome to Let's Talk World. And filling in for Maria Pureza is none other than JC from Fab Life and Gizi and his frenemies. And Saved by Grace. And Nala Nation is right here with the kitty cat. And I'm so excited to be here right now. And by the way, Maria is on her staycation right now. She wants to take a rest from being in front of the camera. So she just wants to be behind it. And now I'm so excited to share to you our ambush interview from our event, a meet and greet event last week at the Westgate. We, courtesy of Joe, we were at the penthouse suite, one of the penthouse suites of the Westgate. We were right below Barry Manilow, no less. And it was so exciting because we were there on behalf of all the shows of social media. We were there from Flame of Las Vegas. Unfortunately, George and Kiki couldn't be there, and also for Maria and Joe were over there, obviously. And for all the other shows as well, like I mentioned, Fab Life, Easy and His Frenemies, Saved by Grace. Are there any shows that I failed to mention? No.
Yep, I think you got it all.
I got it all. I got all the shows.
And want to thank everyone who joined us that night.
And I'd like to thank you all from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of our hearts, for all those who have joined in that night. We had like a fun night of food and social media family. It was a riotous event and great slumber party. We were there, until the following morning, and the following morning we did additional taping and recording, and oh, you want me to mention that? Okay. So we well, unbeknownst to us, they were recording a music video while we were having fun in the background, and none of us knew that they were recording a music video. That is the genius of Maria Pureza, the director.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Of course, I have to acknowledge the queen of social media. Don't you worry.
And who's the queen?
I just mentioned it. It's Maria Pureza.
I think that's shocking.
It's not shocking to me. So anyhow, yeah, we had so much fun, and we had a spectacular view of Las Vegas, and what else? The Las Vegas Country Club, and you could see the runway from the McCarran Airport from there. Oh, it was, and the planes that were landing over there looked like UFOs about to land that night, because it's almost like they gave you the impression that they were stationary and suspended up in the air with their bright lights. So it was, the whole thing just added to the experience. And of course, we brought food. There was a lot of food and drink and soda, and of course Maria Pereza's favorite drink, Patron. So I think Patron should sponsor us.
Yes, yes.
We should get major sponsorship from Patron. Yeah. So anybody out there who's working for Patron, call the execs right now. Hurry, hurry, hurry. So, without further ado, are we going to the second segment?
No, you're gonna tell them what you're gonna do for the next segments.
Oh, okay. And for the next segment, I have my cheat sheet over here. Oh, I just love my Android, even if all of you guys are using your iPhones. I love my LG because I have my notebook over here. So for the second segment, it's going to be G.I. Joe. That's what he wants to be called. Interviewing Timothy Dark. That's for the second segment. And for the third segment, we're going to have Charles. And Charles is from Saved by Grace as well. And could I mention Charles' future show, or
Yes.
it's on? And Charles will have a new program called The Good News. So
And it's all about?
and it's all about the gospel of Jesus Christ. So stay tuned for that because he will be sharing all the good news to you guys there. And Charles on the third segment will be interviewing Brent. And Brent, by the way, is popularly known here in Las Vegas for paranormal activities. He doesn't want me to call him Ghostbusters because he's more professional than a Ghostbuster. But I had the privilege of interviewing Brent as well, and that's going to be on the fourth segment. And also, um, Maria and Joe did their segment as well, and they interviewed me. Oh my gosh.
You were yesterday.
Yes, yesterday. Oh, okay. So, what else are we watching today?
I think that's it. And
That's it.
We're gonna go in with the music video, with the teaser.
And now we're going to show you a special teaser, and we were all looking forward to this. A teaser of a name called Cool, sang by our very own Kevon Tyree.
And can you explain to them how much we work for this one?
Oh, and they moved heaven and hell for this. Came hell and high waters. And Maria and Kevon worked on this tirelessly for 3 nights, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And so Maria was editing it, and Kevon was editing, producing it, and directing it as well. And Kevon was editing it as well. And so we thank you for all the people that were involved in producing, directing. Well, of course, I just mentioned it, it's Maria. But thank you to all that were involved, in recording this video. And so, is that it? Okay, and so without further ado, we would like to show you all the segments that I've just mentioned. And
it's commercial, which is a music video first.
Oh, okay. So now we're going to show you the music video first of Cool by Kevon Tyree. Enjoy!
Unfold before a sense, some hesitance, which doesn't make no sense. I know you feel me, but you won't say it. We've been together for too long to feel like I'm still in love with a stranger. Unless you open up your heart, la da da. Open up your heart and give us a spark, lady.
Live streaming on social media is the best new way to interact and bond with your community. Do you love to encourage, motivate, and empower others, but you do not know how? Well, your opportunity starts with us on social media shows. We have 20 shows a week live streamed across the globe, with a reach of over 80,000 and growing. So you can host your own show, and you can be anything you want to be. So let's bring the community together, and let's bring the world to you. Join us now.
Hi, this is Dark Music Television, and I'm here with Joe.
Joseph Skoda in the office with
Joseph Skoda. And my middle name is Joseph, so there you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
How you like
That's
that?
what I'm talking. Have you read his hand, everybody? Parental advisory, right?
Yeah, be careful.
Be careful.
It just matches the shirt, so you know.
That's why I bought my clothes.
I see
Everyone
that.
had red on but me. I had to get a hat.
I see that.
I had to get a hat.
So tell me about yourself. What do you do?
I'll tell you the truth. I retired from the Air Force.
Okay.
I've been retired almost 13 years right now. And quite frankly, retired in the military, it doesn't pay the bills.
I know, I've heard.
Doesn't pay the bills. You know, you make, they say half, 50%. Well, you make more like a third of that because you lose your housing allowance, your food allowance, all of that.
So they sell you a dream, basically, right?
Right. So I got a good job right away. And then I found myself kind of in and out of jobs and in and out of places to live and relationships, marriages falling apart, kids growing up, and a lot of different things.
So I think that's kind of unfair that you went to serve your country and then you came back and it's like, oh, well, we can't help you. Thanks a lot, buddy.
I'm going to tell you, I didn't have guidance what to do when I got out.
Okay.
No one told me how to file for benefits. No one told me what I was eligible for. No one told me to look for a job. Just assume. Yeah, I'm retired. I have all this experience.
But you're not alone in that. I got a lot of friends that came home after like 5 years and they couldn't find a job. My man had to work in like a retail store, because he couldn't.
I know.
Yeah.
For me, I already had a master's degree when I retired. And I tried to apply for jobs, even stocking shelves. They said, I can't hire you because you have my job in a couple months. So I couldn't get hired because I was overeducated and the jobs that I was qualified for were so limited that I couldn't get those either.
So what did you do in the service? What was your position?
Well, I started off working on F4. I was an F4 crew chief, fighter mechanic. It was a lot of fun. I got into command and control and surveillance and ended up in the personnel field. Space and missiles for a while, a little bit of equal opportunity, a lot of different things. In the military, at least I'm thankful, I've been to 7 different stations, and all my jobs are slightly different.
How many years?
I did 21 years.
21 years.
And 10 of it overseas. 10 of it overseas. Which is a whole different set of challenges because you might be in Japan for 10 years, you love it, then you're out of work, come back to the States, and you don't know how to work again like that. A different mentality.
Well, I never learned, so thank you, man.
Oh, man. Thank you. And so I appreciate it.
You want to be the white eye?
Hey, look at our guests right now, darling.
We got Tina.
Look at Tina. We got the same hat on almost.
You look like Ike.
Tina brought the red.
Oh, you're not going to hit me, are you?
She got the shoes.
Oh,
She about to hit you with the shoe.
Look at that, look at that.
Don't hit Ike with the shoe.
Macho girl. You want to do that?
Tina, say hi for Dark Music Television, Tina. Dark Music Television. Say hello. Dark Music Television.
Peace.
Hello there.
Hello, everybody.
Don't
encourage this woman. Don't encourage this woman.
The show is out of control.
This is Tina.
The show is out of control.
Don't
The show is out of control.
help my
The show is out of control.
Lower that thing up.
Yeah, roll it.
He doesn't have a hat.
The show is out of control.
You guys are whack. Yo, what? Get out of here! Look at it! The security.
We got Jerry.
We're gonna party like it's a birthday. We're gonna drink Bacardi.
Hey. All right, so this was Talk Music Television. Thank you for tuning in.
All right, G.I. Joe Skoda to the house. And everybody else. Hoorah!
Thank you, Joe.
Take care, big dog.
All right,
brother. Yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome to the meet and greet ambush interview here at the West Gate. Yay! So I'm so excited to interview Brent, who's going to have his own program.
With you guys, could be a part of the family.
Yes, but you've been doing this for a long time now.
Just a hair over 10 years.
Wow.
With the paranormal, been doing internet radio for a better part of 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
So this will be a change going from radio to an actual video show.
Oh my gosh. So he is the real Ghostbusters. Who you gonna call?
Paranormal investigator, not Ghostbuster, not Ghost Hunter.
Okay.
A lot of misconceptions in the industry.
I had to throw that in. No, so it's not that.
It's all in fun.
No, it's all in fun. No, but in all seriousness, the reason why I got very interested to interview Brent is because I actually grew up in a haunted house. There were a lot of stuff happening there. My mom saw some stuff. My other aunts experienced some terrible, terrible nightmares. I've experienced my share of terrible nightmares in that house.
And their stories probably go back.
Yes,
even
stories
further than
go
that.
Back. Yeah,
from their grandparents, just passed down through generations.
Yes.
And usually those spirits will transcend generations. So you'll share the same experiences that they did.
Yeah. So within that the span of 10 years, have you experienced something really horrifying?
Where do I start? I've been thrown out of my own bed in a dead sleep. Excuse the term on that one. I was investigating Goldfield, Nevada, the gift shop, and so I brought something home. About 4 or 5 in the following morning, I woke up. I was probably 3 feet above my bed, and I was thrown across my room, probably about 12 feet.
Oh my gosh.
And another one when I was in Pahrump, I got made physically ill on an investigation to the point where I was vomiting, which hasn't happened before or since.
Yeah.
But it literally caused me to stop investigating for the better part of about 1.5 years.
Wow. Oh my God.
So it's things that go bump in the night, they're real. I tell people be afraid, be very afraid.
Yeah.
And if they're interested in getting involved in the paranormal, I make sure and tell them my job is to scare the crap out of you.
Yeah.
Because if I can take you on an investigation and get you scared, if you stay with the team, you're made to be there. But if it's going to scare you, you're not going to belong. Because once you go into these investigations, if you get scared, not only does the spirit attach onto you, it makes you weaker and your group more prone to attacks. So if you're the weakest link, you just hurt the whole team.
Right.
So it's a lot of rules and regulations involved in the paranormal.
Now my other question is, it stems from this statement. I know there's two schools of thought. You know, one, the Christian person thought, and the layman person thought out there. The Christian thought is Christians believe that there are actually no dead souls around.
Once you die, you go to heaven or hell. There's no in between.
And they believe that if ever you're going to encounter spirit, that's either a deceptive spirit, a fallen angel, or
a demon.
So
don't be afraid to say it, a demon. Just don't call their name. You can say demon, just don't say their name.
Okay.
Now, I've encountered several Christians on this very subject.
Okay.
And they get very, very, I don't want to say Bible thumpy about it, but they get very adamant about their religion.
Yes.
And I've been able to throw a wrench in their works.
Okay.
Which they said, oh, you die, you go to heaven or hell, there's no in between. Okay, that's your belief, and I'm going to respect that. But what if your judgment when you die is to stay behind and watch the ones you love grow old and die? What if that's your hell? What if that's your punishment for the life you led? And they stop cold, they stop dead in their tracks. And they just look and go, no, that's not right, heaven or hell. I said, no, that's your hell. You get to suffer by watching the ones you love die. And they can't respond to it. And that literally changes their whole perspective on the paranormal. They're like, you might actually be right. It's like, we don't know. Because everything we do is practice, it's theory. Anybody who claims to be a professional or an expert in the paranormal field, they're completely and totally full of, well, I don't want to say the word, but they're full of crap. And I will call them on it every day of the week. You become more educated in certain aspects in certain areas of the paranormal, but there's no such thing as an expert because we don't know. It's just guesswork. That's all theory. It's all what ifs. And we get lucky with what ifs. There's no concrete proof here or there, and some actually seem to think that maybe it's a subconscious, maybe it's your subconscious portraying into a physical form, answering questions that you want to hear. Maybe it's me portraying to you, this is the answer, or you're portraying it because you're in the room with me, or it's me projecting this image. And that's when it comes to hauntings, when small children can see things that we can't. So that's the other side of it, the flip side of the coin. Small children see spirits. But as adults, when we grow up, we forget about things that go bump in the night. There's not monsters in the closet. There's nothing under the bed. It's my imagination. You hear that knock at 3 in the morning. Yeah, there's something there. Whether or not you want to believe it, or you just want to brush it off as, oh no, the neighbor was just stumbling down the stairs. Something could be there. And that's when we get called and we try to prove there's nothing there. Because the hardest thing to do is tell somebody that their house is haunted or that they have problems. It's easy to say, you know what, it was when the heater clicked on. You've got a loose strap in the ceiling that drop down and the vents rattle. Or it's your plumbing, you've got a bad pipe. It's easy to say that, but to sit down and say, you know what, we got to come in and we got to do something to help you. That is the hardest part of this job. Because they don't want to hear that. They want to hear that they're not crazy. They want to hear that, oh, I can explain this. I can get a handyman. But to say now, we got to call the team in. What do you want us to do? Do you want us to clear the spirit? Do you want us to identify it? What do you want us to do? And usually they sit there, just, the hands just start, you see the shake, that trembling, they're lost. But for us to turn around and go in and help them, it makes you feel good that we're helping people.
Now, one last question before I wrap up this ambush interview. Is there any correlation between the paranormal activities and, alien life form?
I haven't studied enough on that, but hearing everybody talk this evening about, when you die and you see the light, that's the aliens, you know, dragging you in, put you into another body, turn you into a slave to society. Everything's in theory. We don't know. Is it possible? Yes. Is it plausible? Of course. But is it theoretical?
Right.
It depends on your scientific point of view.
Yeah.
I try to go in with an open mind. I read constantly about paranormal, demonic, psychic abilities.
Yeah.
Is it the mind playing tricks on you? Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So when it comes to tying aliens and stuff into it,
And the ghosts, aliens, ghosts, and things that go bump in the night.
exactly. Then you can tie government mind control into it.
Yeah.
People wearing tinfoil hats. I mean,
Oh my
how
God.
far of conspiracy do you actually?
I wear a tinfoil hat in my comedy show, Geezy, but like that's another.
Well, you know, the aliens might be trying to contact you. You know, psychically portraying what they want you to say.
Yeah.
You're a puppet on a string
Oh
for
my
them.
gosh, yes.
So it's all a matter of what you want to believe, and you know, we're always open. We sit down and talk to people of every different faith, every different religion, every different belief, and we try to correlate that and carry that on to our next investigation and further down the road as group members.
Yes.
Because that helps us educate ourselves to better help the next client.
Okay. And that was my ambush interview with Brent. I am so excited about your.
Thank you.
I shouldn't be calling it a show because to me it's not a show. It's
It's
a
an
program.
obsession.
It's a program.
Yes.
Yes.
I do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Social media shows
is about
But branding.
Opportunity.
and outreach
We are an entertainment company that empowers others.
by promoting and supporting our community and everyone who reaches our content.
here on social media shows.
Here we're a family.
We are family. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, sing. We are family.
We are family.
We are family.
We are a family.
we are family.
We are family, and we want you to be part of our social media shows family.
We've reached the age of live streaming on social media shows. You may ask, we're already ahead of the curve, so why do you need to advertise with us? Well, only 8% of the businesses in the US are using digital advertising to grow their business. That's 2 percentage points short of reaching critical mass, which will lead to faster results. We have 20 plus shows with a reach of over 80,000. We'll give you commercial ads, website link, and connections to nonprofit organizations. So get your brand ready for digital monetization, for we are looking for sponsors, which will bring more traffic to your business and ultimately mean more sales. So let's bring the world to you. Inquire now.
All right, cool. So
Now we'll start again. As I was explaining, basic millimeter registers temperature and electromagnetic fields, which electromagnetic fields, if you're in a building with no power, if you get a spike in that, it's a pretty good chance that a spirit is near. We also use this to debunk residential investigations. People claim there's spirits in the house. We check like the control unit for the AC and the heater control, all appliances. The biggest culprits for EMF poisoning are the refrigerator and the control panel. So basically, if you're getting EMF poisoning, which headaches, hallucinations, lethargic, you can't sleep, stuff like that, are signs of EMF poisoning. So people claim that as a sign of seeing ghosts, we go through and we can usually debunk it by saying, okay, your bedroom's right on the other side of the refrigerator, your headboard's right there, and your head's right there, so you're actually getting signs of EMF poisoning, and we can debunk the paranormal activity.
So it's not possession, it's faulty appliances.
It's faulty electrical. The appliances aren't grounded. Like the biggest culprits beside that are the alarm clock right next to your bed and your cell phone, believe it or not. If you leave it in charge right next to your bed, you're sleeping right here. You've got it a foot away from your head. So basically, those are signs of that it's not paranormal.
That's like 8 hours of uninterrupted exposure.
Yeah.
Like you're not moving around. So
exactly.
It's right there. Yeah.
So it's constant poisoning. So you wake up with a migraine. You're lethargic. You didn't sleep well. You were tossing, you're turning.
Yeah.
So those are telltale signs of EMF poisoning.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Interesting.
Let me get this turned off. We go with. Sorry, I got a lot of gear here. Basic digital camera. We tell people don't go over 4 to 6 megapixels. Basically, these are once you get over 6 megapixels, like your cell phone. It's a small computer. If you're in a room snapping pictures, if it doesn't know what to make of the camera doesn't know what to make of the image, it will make something up. So basically, we tell people the lower the megapixel, the better. If you can afford it, you can go back to 35 millimeter cameras. Go in, spend the money, have it develop, and then go from there. Also, when you're taking pictures, do it in bursts. Like take 3 pictures, straight in line, 1, 2, 3. So if you don't have something in one, then something in the second, then nothing in the third, you can actually go back and prove or disprove what you're taking.
Okay.
So let me start setting stuff down here. Otherwise, we're going to get pretty cluttered. Full spectrum camera. Just basically like your recorder that we're being broadcast on, except it has the filter taken off. You see the purple hue.
Yeah.
Turn this around so the viewers can see it. Full spectrum camera. Spirits are not visible by the naked eye, not usually. Usually in the full spectrum view, we can better identify them.
Okay.
So usually add lights to this, like full spectrum lights, so you can better get wide open areas. This camera is only good with the light for about 4 or 5 feet around it. Aside from that, it's pitch black. So basically, it's good for close range, nothing more than that.
Okay, so now so you have the visible light spectrum.
Yeah.
Below that you have infrared, and above that is what, ultraviolet?
Yeah.
So you're saying the spirits are kind of outside, just on the outskirts of the visible spectrum?
And basically what I tell people is, when you question that, your peripheral vision, whatever you see out of the corner of your eyes, when people, they claim they see shadows walking by from back here, they don't see it here, but they see it here. So if you see shadows walking by out of here, this is your unfiltered vision. So this you're catching here is filtered by your lens and your perception of society. Back here is still your unfiltered view.
Okay.
So it's basic digital recorder, for your EMF, your questions. Then the hard part about it is you have to go back through and listen to the hours and hours of audio. So our suggestion to all investigators, do it in 15 to 20 minute bursts. So you go into a room, you sit down for 15 or 20 minutes, ask questions, you get up and leave. And you always say, okay, it's December 15th, 2019. Such and such location, such and such a time, whatever it may be. Then you ask your questions, do it, then okay, ending session. That way when you go back to it, you don't have 3 hours of dead air. So you always do it in bursts, that way you can identify the rooms later on, you're not just walking around with a live recorder.
Gotcha, okay.
This one actually is dead, so I can't do that. This is a night vision camera. So basically it has the infrared lights, but you just see basically the picture in black and white. Simple little Bill and Hal camera, you can find it anywhere online. I think it's $80. So this is actually a very handy piece of equipment.
Sure.
Especially when you're in dark rooms, because you can hold it up and use it without using a flashlight.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes that. Hey, don't step back. Don't step back.
Oh. Come on.
And my shoe for this. Thank you.
The moment you said that, I said, there's something behind me. There's something behind me.
Okay, a lot of people like using spirit boxes called SB7 or SB12s, which is basically radio stations. They with the tuner removed, so it changes stations like once every millisecond. So if you ask questions and you're getting responses through it, you're not saying, okay, it was a commercial, it was this, it was that, because there's no way you can get a full sentence through 20 or 30 different radio stations in a matter of a few seconds. And a few of our group members, they swear by those, but I swear by these. I went and got out a basic weather radio. We use this like when we're out in those basically podunk towns in the middle of nowhere. You also use it to keep an eye on the weather, because if something moves in, you're out and then you're trapped out in the middle of nowhere. But you also change it to one of the stations where there's no reception and you have nothing but pure white noise coming through. And if I can turn it on, let me see if I can get this. You see, that's the weather station. Then you turn it over and that's just pure white noise. So you can ask questions, get answers through the white noise. You get it through here, it's going to be unfiltered, because as you can hear, there's no radio station coming through it.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's in the interview earlier, everything is theory. And with the spirits communicating through frequencies, I've come up with my own theories, and you get the basically 88.1 through 107.9. That's the stations that people, it cycles through and you get communication through. I went out and got a world band radio, so where you're actually operating on higher frequencies. And I've actually got responses to this through cycling the stations.
So you can go above 108?
You can go above 108 at the world band. So everybody who's who's my age and a little bit older know what a world band radio is. You get stations from Europe, from Germany, from wherever at certain times of the day. And this cycles through all those higher frequency ranges, so it'll help us get a better chance of getting a spirit communication.
Interesting. Okay. Very cool.
Of course, other digital recorders, always take protection on an investigation. Always. I always carry a rosary with me, and I always carry a blessed scapular with me. This I wear on every single investigation.
What is that symbol on there?
It's St. Michael's shield.
Okay.
And I bought this blessed from the Vatican. I suggest if you're spiritual at all, make sure and get one. It'll help keep the evil spirits away. But if they want to attack you, they're gonna attack you.
Okay.
Let me set this down real quick.
So that's just like an extra step of precaution.
It's spiritual protection.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me get this thing out. This is my newest edition that I was showing right before the interview. Show it so the viewers can get a little sense of what's going on. If you guys have watched any of the TV shows, which I'm not going to get into, I have my beliefs on it, and I can't share it with you guys because, one, it's bad business, and two, I'm not that guy. Oh, crap. What are we doing? There we go. I'll hold this up for the viewer, hold up to the camera. As you can see, the heat signatures. This is a FLIR. FLIR, what was it? IR2? C2. Had to look at the back of it, so I got it right. If you're the only one in the room taking pictures with this, what it does, it takes a picture of the heat signature and a normal picture and puts them side by side on the screen. So when you go back later on in the investigation or on the review, if you're the only one in the room taking these pictures and you get a heat signature walking by, you can identify it and line it up in the normal picture that it takes. So when you go back and do the review with the client, you can actually show them, okay, this is your room. You know I'm not faking this evidence. Here's the heat signature and here's your room. And hopefully you can make out the matrixing in the environment on the normal picture to catch a spirit on both frames. So it's a cool little gadget. I mean, if you're getting into paranormal investigations, I do not suggest getting this. I highly advise not to. Okay. If you're getting into investigations, I suggest probably two things. Well, three. You can go with the Mel meter or a K2 meter, which is K2 detects the electromagnetic fields and not the temperature. So
going back to the TV shows, I feel like that's one of the standard pieces of equipment I see often.
Very, very standard. Okay. I'll go ahead and plug them because I've bought from them so many times. GoStop.com. I'll plug them for free. I don't care. But that's where I got this. I actually have two of them. Okay. And catch good deals on equipment if you're looking at getting started in it. I mean, just get a basic, go out and spend $50 on a basic digital camera. You can get a basic digital recorder for $19. Unfortunately, with this one, they do not make it anymore.
Now, see, that's not something for me that I feel like I should be messing with, but I'm interested in the topic, and I like that you brought the equipment. Like, I just wanted to ask you a few questions. As far as the other world and the spirits and all that, it's just, I'll stay away from it.
It's a lot of people feel the same way until they get involved. Then they're like, you know what, you were right. But, you know, and I go by this. When I take people out, I tell them for the first time, I'm going to scare you. I'm going to scare you. Because if I can take you into this location and you can stand it, you're probably meant for the team. If I go out and get you attacked, or I get you scratched, or I get you an EVP, and it scares you, you're not meant to do it. You may as well just stay home and watch it on TV where you belong. Leave it to the professionals.
In the safety of your own home. Yeah.
Because even at 10 years, I'm still a rookie at this. I learn every single day. The more I read, the more I study, the more confused I get. Because of every single team's different approach to it and everybody's different beliefs. You try and take it all together and form your own opinion of the paranormal. But like I said, the more you study, the more confused you get.
Now I know, like, we live in the age of the internet, that you can watch YouTube and Google stuff. Are there any, like, old school, like, standard literature that you know you should start off with?
There's with a parapsychologist in California. His name is Lloyd Auerbach. Auerbach. He has some of the best books on the paranormal.
Okay.
He also, if you're going to get involved, I suggest a book called Psychic Dreaming.
Okay.
It is, will basically explain the subconscious mind. Like people wake up and they can't move. They're frozen. You know, everybody's woke up and they can't move. They feel they can't breathe, like something's holding you down. That book explains it. It also explains psychic projection of feelings in young children. It involves dreams and stuff like that. So it better helps you debunk certain people claiming, yes, it's paranormal. No, it's not. I can explain it. It's all psychological. And there's also with the most famous paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren. Everybody knows. I mean, anybody who's done that, who's seen The Conjuring, The Haunting in Connecticut, all those were based on true cases from Ed and Lorraine Warren. They've investigated Amity. Everybody knows about Amityville.
Amityville, yeah.
Like I said, The Conjuring in Burkittsville, Connecticut. All those places they've investigated.
Wasn't there another one, Emily Rose, or is that something totally different?
Exorcism of Emily Rose was based on a girl named Annalise Michael in 1948. She felt she was possessed and convinced her doctors, you know, I'm not going to see you anymore, I'm going to go with my priest. She ultimately died because of the demonic possessions. She had, I believe, I think it was 6 or 7, she was possessed by 6 or 7 demons. So when you see that movie, that is actually based on true story. There is this happened in Germany, so it was Americanized version, Hollywood, the whole 9 yards. But there's an 11-part YouTube video out there of the actual exorcism tapes. I highly recommend not listening to them. The first time I did, I slept with the lights on for like 3 days. It scared me to death. My blood literally boiled. Because, excuse me, you hear the demons in the voice, but you hear it in different tones, different pitches, and you can hear them identify themselves in different manners.
And does it seem pretty clear that it can't possibly, like you know, a human only has such range, so like it's clear that this is happening from outside of what a human is capable of producing?
Oh yeah, you can hear it because you can't hit those, as a human, you can't hit those notes without probably tearing your vocal cords. As anybody who's a musician knows, you can strain your vocal cords. You can seriously cause damage. And some of those the voices that come out of her, there's no way a human being can possibly do that.
That is crazy. That is terrifying.
So it's, when you dip into the demonic, it's very dangerous, because if you mention the demons' names, they can actually attach themselves to you.
And then, like, all kinds of chaos breaks out in
your life will turn to shambles. You'll wake up every day pissed off. You'll always be lethargic. You'll be tired. You'll be, you don't feel like yourself.
And that's just the internal stuff, not counting like stuff that goes wrong. Just outside of your, in your everyday life.
You could, get one of those attachments, drive down the street, and get into a car crash. So many physical attributes that happen. You've noticed physical changes in yourself. You can see the bags under your eyes. You can see changes in your face. That's all sometimes due to demonic or negative attachments.
Like that slow transition they make in the movies, where they start off pretty normal looking, and towards the end of the movie, they're just like totally ragged and just not even human looking anymore.
No, you can literally. I could probably walk down the street and point out anybody that has an attachment to them. You can tell just by the way they carry themselves. There's just not something right about them. And you've probably sensed it. You just look at somebody like, there's something wrong with them without even talking to them. I mean, everybody's done it. You look at me going, you know, what's there?
Well, this is Vegas. I usually just blame it on like alcohol poisoning.
Well,
no,
then there's
I know
that.
What you mean. I'm just messing.
But you know, I'll tell you, being in this room, I felt the energy in this room. As I told you guys, when I walked into this room, we're on the 29th floor. The very first thing I did when I walked in this room, I felt like I wanted to jump off the balcony. There's something very, very bad around here. And I don't like saying that because of the location.
Yeah.
But
well, I don't know. That could work either way. Like
experienced investigators, even non-experienced investigators, new guys. Once you have that feeling, it doesn't go away. You're born with it, and you can learn it. It just takes a lot of time to learn. You got to be able to channel into the energy around you, channel into people, and be able to read people's emotions. I was brought up around doing investigations on people, and you know, people's activity and what they'll do, how they carry themselves, how to notice if they're about to do something stupid or do something wrong. So once you learn how to read people's character, you can determine there's something wrong with them. Because when we interview people, we also, when they answer the questions, you can pretty much determine by their body language if they're BSing you or they're genuinely looking for help. We've actually told people we're not helping you. Well, why not? Because you're lying to us.
You don't want help.
You're basically making up a story because you're telling us there's not drugs in the house. There's drugs in the house. Because I can see it in your eyes. I can see you're sitting there scratching your skin.
Need for attention, trying to justify poor behavior. Probably a whole long list of stuff.
They're looking for excuses to make themselves feel better about themselves because they know their life's in shambles. But we can't do that unless they're willing to help themselves first.
Gotcha. Wow, man, very interesting. Thank you so much for showing me all the equipment and like breaking that down for me.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Brent.
Brent.
All right, man. Nice to meet you.
You too, sir.
All right.
Hello, everyone, and that was it for our featured ambush interviews at the West Gate. And I hope you enjoyed all the interviews that we showed you tonight. And don't forget to tune in next week at Let's Talk World. There's too many shows over here. Let's Talk World and all the upcoming interviews. Pretty exciting interviews in Let's Talk World. On the meet and greet at the Westgate Hotel. So there you have it.
You were on all shows this week. That's why you kind of like confused.
I know I was in all shows this week. They're spreading me way too thin, but it's okay. Hey, I'm still here. And
the copy of the videos that we showed you is on.
The copy of the videos that we showed you they're all on YouTube. Yes, so you can go to the YouTube page of Social Media Shows.
And on the website.
And on our socialmediashows.com. And also special mention to Nala by my side, who has been here since the moment that this show started earlier. Bye, and see you next week.